Hello, welcome to this YouTube channel MathSense. This is the second lecture of unit number 1, Operation Research. Today we are going to discuss some characteristic of Operation Research. In last lecture we discussed some definitions of Operation Research, and after observing all those definitions we are able to derive some basic characteristic of Operation Research. So after considering the objective and definition of operation research, now let us try to understand what are the characteristics of operation research. So first one is, it is an interdisciplinary team approach. So when you are dealing with a problem, you need different expert from different discipline. Basically, teamwork is essential here, and that's why maybe one person is not able to have all kind of knowledge regarding that problem, so we need different persons from different fields, and that's why it is an interdisciplinary team approach. Next is, it increases the creative ability of the decision maker in the whole process of operation research. You observe the problem very closely. You analyze each and every part of problem, and after that you need to apply some scientific method of calculation. You need to use some software there. So, and you are dealing with different perspective of that problem. So that's why as a researcher it increases the creative ability of the decision maker. Operation research is system oriented. The system is everything there. That particular problem is everything there. The system, how it works, is everything there. It's not about one single person or one single product. It is all about the whole system, how it works, and the final solution. Now, the next is, operation research is a scientific approach. It is a very key scientific approach because we analyze each and every aspect. We apply different scientific method to solve those problems, and that's why it is a scientific approach. Now, operation research uncover new problems. So you are observing the problem very closely as a OR researcher. So that's why some problems which are unnoticed or unseen in the beginning, but after deep observation you find new problems there. So it uncovers new problems. Use of information technology. So in real life we are dealing with so much data, and to process it, to find the solution, we need some software or computers. So that's why it use IT. It is a quantitative, it provides quantitative solution. Yes, it only provides quantitative solution. It's not deal with the emotions or any other thing. It deals with only numbers and data, and process on that only. So let's discuss them in detail. So first one is, operation research is an interdisciplinary team approach. The problems an operation research analysis faces is heterogeneous in nature, involving the number of variables and constraints which are beyond the analytical ability of one person. Hence, people from various disciplines are required to understand the operation research problem, who apply their spatial knowledge acquired through experience to get a better view of cause and effect of the events in the problem, and to get a better solution to the problem on hand. This type of team approach will reduce the risk of making wrong decisions. The next is operation research. Increase the creative ability of decision maker. Operation research provides manager mathematical tools, techniques, and various models to analyze the problem on hand and to evaluate the outcomes of various alternative and make an optimal choice. This will definitely help him in making better and quick decisions. A manager without the knowledge of these technique has to make decision by thumb rules or by guesswork, which may click sometime and many a time put him in trouble. Hence, a manager who uses operation research technique will have a better creative ability than a manager who doesn't use the technique. Operation research is a system approach. A business or a government organization or a defense organization may be considered as a system having various subsystems. The decision made by any subsystem will have its effect on other subsystem. Say for example, a decision taken by the marketing department will have its effect on the production department. When dealing with operation research problem, one has to consider the entire system and characteristic or subsystem, the interrelationship between the subsystem, and then analyze the problem, search for a suitable model, and get the solution for the problem. Hence, we say operation research is a system approach. It is a scientific approach. Operation research uses scientific methods to solve the problems. Most of the scientific studies, such as chemistry, physics, biology, etc., can be carried out in the laboratories without the much interference from the outside world. But this will not happen with OR problems. There is so much interference of the from the outside world. However, the same is not true in the system under study by OR team. So OR is a formalized process of reasoning. Under OR, the problem is to be analyzed and defined clearly. Observations are made under different conditions to study the behavior of the system. On the basis of these observations, a hypothesis describing how the various factors involved are believed to interact and the best solution to the problem is formulated. The to test the hypothesis experiment is designed and executed. Observations are made and measurements are recorded. Finally, result of the experiments are studied and the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. So, operation research is the use of scientific methods to solve the problem under study. Next is uncovering new problems. This is very important actually. Solution of an OR problem may uncover a number of new problems. In order to derive the maximum benefit, each one of them must be solved. OR is not effectively used if it is restricted to one short problem only. In order to derive full benefits, continuity of researcher must be maintained. Use of information technology. Operation research often requires a computer to solve the complex mathematical model or to perform a large number of computations that are involved. Use of digital computer has become an integral part of the operation research approach to decision making. As operation research, you need to deal with a lot of data, so computer is also essential there. Quantitative solution. Operation research provides the manager with a quantitative basis for decision making. OR attempts to provide a systematic and rational approach for quantitative solution to the various managerial problems. Now let's discuss scope of operation research. So The scope aspect of any subject indicates the limit of application of the subject matter or techniques of the subject to the various field to solve the variety of the problems. But we have studied the objective that the subject operation research will give a scientific base for the executives to take decisions or to solve the problem of the system under their control. The system may be business, industry, government, or defense. Not only this, but the definition discussed also gives different versions. This indicates that the techniques of operation research may be used to solve any type of problems. The problems may pertain to an individual, group of individual, business, agriculture, government or defense. Hence we can say that there is no limit for the application of operation research methods and techniques. They may be applied to any type of problems. Let us now discuss some of the fields where operation research techniques can be applied to understand how the techniques are useful to solve this problem. Here we are going to discuss some fields. You can add here more field also. In general, we can state that whenever there is a problem, simple or complicated, we can use operation research technique to get the best solution. Now the first field is in defense operation. Yes, we know operation research is a war baby. So in fact, the subject operation research is the baby of World War II. To solve war problems, they have applied a team approach and come out with various models such as resource allocation model, transportation model, etc. In any war field, two or more parties are involved, each having different resources like manpower, ammunition, etc. Different courses of actions, or we can say strategies for applications. Every opponent has to guess the resources with the enemy and his course of action, and accordingly he has to attack the enemy. For this, he needs scientific logical analysis of the problems to get fruitful results. Here, one can apply the techniques like linear programming, game theory, and inventory model, etc., to win the game. In fact, in war fields, every situation is a competitive situation. Moreover, each party may have different bases, such as the Air Force, Navy, Army. The decision taken by one will have its effect on the other. Hence, proper coordination of the three bases and smooth flow of information is necessary. Here, operation research technique will help the department heads to take appropriate decision. After the World War II, the industrial world faced a depression, and to solve the various industrial problems, industrialists tried the models which were successful in solving their problems. So OR can help in industry also. So industrialists learn that the techniques of operation research can conveniently be applied to solve industrial problems. Then onwards, various models have been developed to solve industrial problem. Today, the managers have on their hand numerous techniques to solve different types of industrial problems. In fact, decision tree, inventory model, linear programming model, transportation model, sequencing model, assignment model, and replacement models are helpful to the managers to solve various problems they face in their day-to-day work. These models are used to minimize the cost of production, increase the productivity, and use the available resources carefully and for healthy industrial growth. An industrial manager with these various models on his hand and a computer to work out the solutions quickly and precisely. Today, actually, various packages are available to solve different industrial problems. The next field is in planning for economic growth. In India, we have 5-year planning for steady economic growth. Actually, not in economic growth. Every person is usually planned for 5 years. This is the general psychology. So, every state government has to prepare plans for balanced growth of state. Various secretaries belong to the different departments have to coordinate and plan for steady economic growth. For this, all departments can use operation research technique for planning purpose. The question like how many engineers, doctors, software people, etc. are required in future or in current situation, and what should be their quality to face the problem, etc., can be easily solved. In agriculture, the demand for food product is increasing day by day due to population explosion, but the land available for agriculture is limited, and actually the land available for agriculture is decreasing due to so much construction work. So we must find newer way of increasing agriculture yield. So the selection of land area for agriculture and the seed of food grains for sowing must be meticulously done so that the farmer will not get lost. At the same time, the user will get what they desire at the desired time and desired cost. This is the most essential thing we need to do in a current situation because demand is increasing and supply is not increasing that much. Now you face this situation everywhere in traffic control. You face each and every person faces this traffic situation, and due to the population explosion, the increase in the number and varieties of vehicles, road density is continuously increasing. Especially in peak hours, it will be a headache to control the traffic. Hence, proper timing of traffic signaling is necessary. Depending on the flow of commuters, proper signaling time is to be worked out. This can be easily done by the application of queuing theory. The next is in hospital. This is the current example of operation research. You can relate with this one very easily. Many times we see very lengthy queues of patients near hospital, and few of them get treatment and the rest of them have to go out without treatment because of time factor. Sometimes we have problem with non-availability of essential drugs, shortage of ambulances, shortage of beds, etc. These problems can be conveniently solved by the application of operation research techniques. They the above discussed problems are few among many problems that can be solved by the application of operation research techniques. This shows that operation research has no limit on its scope of application. So here we mention some major fields. You can add more fields also in the scope of application. Now let's discuss some application of operation research. So today, almost all fields of business and government utilize the benefits of operation research. There are voluminous application of operation research. Although it is not feasible to cover all application of OR in brief, the following are the abbreviated set of typical operation research application to show how widely these techniques are used today. So first one is accounting, assigning audit teams effectively, credit policy analysis, cash flow planning, developing standard cost, establishing cost for byproducts, planning of delinquent account strategy, In all this, we need operation research. The next is construction, project scheduling, monitoring and control, determination of proper workforce, deployment of workforce, allocation of resources to projects. These are the major field of constructions where operation research is used. Facility planning. So facility planning is needed everywhere in every field. So factory location and size decision, estimation of number of facilities required, hospital planning, international logistic system design, transportation loading and unloading, warehouse location decision. In this all this we need OR. So in field of finance, building cash management models, allocating capital among various alternatives, building financial planning models, investment analysis, portfolio analysis, dividend policy making, we use OR. In manufacturing, inventory control, marketing balance, projection, production scheduling, production smoothing, OR is mandatory there. In marketing, advertising budget allocation, product introduction timing, selection of product mix, deciding most effective packaging alternative. These are the major decisions and we need OR there. Now, human resource management or organizational behavior. So, personal planning, recruitment of employees, skill balancing, training program scheduling, designing organizational structure more effectively. We need OR. Purchasing, optimal buying, optimal reordering, material transfer, like all doing all this thing, we use OR. Research and development, R&D project control, R&D budget allocation, planning of product introduction, we use operation research. So these are some major field where operation research is needed. Now, though we have some limitation of operation research. So operation research has a number of applications. Similarly, it also has certain limitation. These limitations are mostly related to the model building and money and time factor problems involved in its application. Some of them are as given below. So first one is distance between OR specialist and manager. So we discussed earlier that it is an interdisciplinary team approach, but operation research job needs a mathematician or statistician who might not be aware of the business problem. Similarly, a manager is unable to understand the complex nature of operation research. Thus, there is a big gap between the two persons, and sometimes it affects the solution or implementation of solution a lot. The next is magnitude of calculation. The aim of the OR is to find an optimal solution taking into consideration all the factors. In this modern world, these factors are enormous, and expressing them in a quantitative model and establishing a relationship among this requires voluminous calculation, which can be handled only by machines, and that's why we use computers in the calculation. Money and time cost. The basic data are subject to frequent changes. Incorporating these changes into the operation research model is very expensive, not in only terms of money, sometimes it's a term of time also. It's very expensive. You can say it's very time consuming also. However, a fairly good solution at present may be more desirable than a perfect operation research solution available in future or after some time. Next is non-quantifiable factors. When all the factors related to a problem can be quantifiable, only then operation research provides a solution. Otherwise not. The non-quantifiable factors are not incorporated in OR model. Importantly, OR model don't take into account emotional factors or quantifiable factors. So when we deal with some problems, so it focus on data, but there is no perfect number of emotions. So that much emotions work or that much emotion affects. So that's why this factor this factors effect emotional factors effect is not considered in the OR model calculation. Then the last one is implementation. Once the decision has been taken, it should be implemented. The implementation of decision is a delicate task. This task must take into account the complexity of human relations and behavior, and in sometimes only the psychological factors. Yes, let's talk about the recent past situation. So when India took a big decision about the whole nation's shutdown, so it is the implementation. The decision is taken based on a serious calculations. It is a very calculated decision, but to implement that decision is a delicate task. And you read so much news about the emotional factors or emotional result of those decision and different aspect. So implementation of solution is actually a critical task. So let's summarize all this thing of OR here. So operation research is relatively a new discipline which originated in World War II and become very popular throughout the world. India is one of the few first countries in the world who started using operation research. Operation research is used successfully not only in military or army operations but also in business, government, and industry. Nowadays, operation research is almost used in all the fields. Proposing a definition to the operation research is difficult one because its boundary and content are not fixed. The tools for operation research is provided from the subjects like economics, engineering, mathematics, statistics, psychology, etc., which helps to choose possible alternative course of action. The operation research tools or techniques include linear programming, non-linear programming, dynamic programming, integer programming, Markov process, Turing theory, etc. Operation research has a number of applications. Similarly, it has a number of limitations, which is basically related to the time, money, and the problem involved in the model building. Model building is a very critical task when we are talking about different OR methods. Day by day, operation research is gaining acceptance because it improves decision making effectiveness of the manager. Almost all the areas of business use the operation research for decision making, and not only in all business areas, actually, each and every field where we need to take some critical decisions, they used some calculation, some analysis there, and that is actually a part of OR. So, OR is applicable in almost all fields. So, up to this level, in lecture 1 and lecture 2, we'll discuss different things about OR. So, I hope you get some idea regarding what is operation research actually. So, thank you.